Justin Dedich, who is expected to be at the center position here in 2023, he is returning to the USC offensive line.
That is enormous. Like we know that offensive line depth really came back to bite USC when Andrew Voorhees went down, wasn't able to play in the Pac-12 championship game. Utah was able to roast Mason Murphy, the backup who was thrown into the fire. So, like any quality depth and any continuity that USC can attain on the offensive line is huge. So with Dedich locking up the spot, well, first off, playing center, like he'd been at guard while Brett Nealon was, the center for most of the 2022 season. Having a center who knows Caleb Williams, works really well with Caleb Williams, that just provides so much continuity for the offensive line and for the offense as a whole. So like that just you could just feel USC fans' blood pressure levels plummeting, from unhealthy levels to very healthy levels after the Dedich news. It is such a stabilizing thing. And, let's like unpack that whole notion of stability for a little bit. Lincoln Riley, he is an offensive wizard, but obviously throughout these next 8 months, what's the focus going to be? Defense, 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 making sure Alex Grinch is able to put a better product on the field. I mean, this 2023 season, like it's not going to be a referendum or verdict on how well Lincoln Riley can coach offense. Like we know that. We saw that this past season. It's going to be how much does Lincoln Riley care about defense? And so just referencing this Dedich return, like that just gives USC's offense so much stability that it's the kind of thing that, might enable Lincoln Riley to devote 10, 15 more minutes per film session or practice at various points in the off season during spring ball. Like, you'd think that, okay, like we got this on offense. We got this with our offensive line. Everyone understands what we have to do. I'm going to peek in on these defensive drills a little bit more, right? I think it's a small part of the Dedich story, but it's a real part of it. That it's the kind of thing that's going to free up Lincoln Riley, in his coaching, but also, part of what a head coach does is you coach your coaches, you coach your assistant coaches, and there's just going to be a little bit less offensive line micromanaging and oversight. And that, the minutes that Lincoln Riley might have to devote with Josh Henson to cultivating a new center, he can devote small handfuls of minutes at various points in spring ball, in August camp. He can carry those minutes elsewhere to the defense. And that's just part of the larger architecture and the larger economy of how Lincoln Riley spends his time, his very precious time in the spring, in August, managing the whole USC roster for 2023. Dedich returning is it's a good, solid, substantive reason for Lincoln Riley to be able to look in on what Alex Grinch is doing and provide a little bit more quality control so that he can do a much better job of getting that side of the ball in order.
Dedich joined USC out of the 2018 class as the second-rated center in the country. He was roughly a top 115 prospect and top 15 player out of the state of California. And, of course, the Trojans have landed two veterans in the transfer portal along the offensive line this offseason, and right tackle Michael Tarquin out of Florida and Washington State offensive lineman Jarrett Kingston, and are probably looking to do more damage in the transfer portal along the offensive front.
Folks, should be worth saying that Jarrett Kingston looks like an excellent pickup. That he was excellent on his pass blocking snaps at Washington State, and of course, what he's another Pac-12 transfer with working knowledge and understanding. Like he knows Oregon and Washington really well, so that working knowledge base just makes him an extra valuable pickup for USC.